Hey friends, Peggy Hall back with you from thehealthyamerican.org. This is Monday, November 17th, 2025. And guess what they found in cheese? Yes, we are told by the CDC, by the FDA, and of course by Newsweek magazine, that the bird flu is found in cheese. Now, what I want to share with you in the video in this broadcast is the contradiction of the CDC and the FDA announcing these recalls of organic vegetables and cheese while allowing the poison darts containing deadly ingredients to still stand. So, just in case, well, I'm getting ahead of myself a little bit, friends. That is the punchline. The punchline is that we are told that the bird flu virus is found to survive in some cheeses. Now, this is really stretching here, friends. So, welcome to the CDC and the FDA inverse universe. So let me see if I've got this straight. Cheese, especially unpasteurized raw cheese, is supposed to be deadly. And parsley, organic parsley, has also been recalled. But the poison darts are still on the shelves, and there's no sign of any pharmaceutical companies pulling those off the shelf. Tomorrow, I'm going to share with you an update from my Healthy American and my friend, Laura Hayes, who has been a long-time advocate speaking out against these poison darts. She is the mother of 3 injured children from these injectable products, one more severely. She's been on the show before, and she is a frequent commenter and writer over at Age of Autism. I want to do a separate video for you about that tomorrow, about the stretch that's going on from the CDC and the FDA and the Health and Human Services, saying that Tylenol is the culprit in autism. So it will be a follow-up to this video. I just thought that this was absolutely astounding that the FDA and the CDC, let's go, here is the FDA, they did not enforce the recall, but they announced that this Twin Sisters Creamery has recalled certain cheeses. So the CDC has many times, let me take you over here, has many times warned the public about cheeses and raw milk. So isn't it interesting that raw, unpasteurized dairy products, we're being told, are life-threatening? And organic parsley and produce is life-threatening. But don't worry about those pharmaceutical products that are being injected into your children's arms. Infants, crying infants who don't want that done. We'll just let that go because, more studies have to be done. But let's pull the cheese off the shelf. I mean, cheapers. I'm trying to make a pun there, friends. So the 100+ doses of childhood poison are left in place. So basically, the FDA and the CDC love to fear peddle the produce and the dairy products. Let's take a look at the poor, lowly, unassuming parsley plant. We're being told that it has been issued the highest consumer risk warning. Let me know if you heard of that, friends. I mean, let me take a look at what the, actually, I have that in my upcoming Substack for you. So the information that I have about the parsley is that several hundred cases of bulk Italian parsley was recalled by Pacific International Marketing, this company right here, Pacific, because it may, perhaps, just possibly, can't be sure, can't be too safe, can't be too much on guard, could be contaminated with salmonella. And salmonella is an organism that can cause serious infections in young children, frail or elderly people, and others with a weakened immune system. Now, I probably had salmonella at some point. Food poisoning is what we call it. And that's where you have nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, abdominal pain. In very rare circumstances, it could get into the bloodstream and possibly could produce more severe illness. I'm not a doctor and I'm not giving any medical diagnosis, but by and large, when you ingest salmonella, your body tries to eliminate it. At least that's what happened to me. Let me know if you ever had that, if you ever had food poisoning. So I don't know exactly why this poor little parsley plant was singled out, but that is one of the headlines that caught my eye. Now, the next one, I was going to kind of make a joke and say, who cut the cheese? Because we've got 3 different cheese stories here. The FDA announced a voluntary recall of certain cheeses, and this one, the Face Rock Creamery, and this one, we are told, is a threat to life. Well, I wouldn't eat it then. I mean, they are just trying to make us more and more afraid. And apparently, the bird flu, now we're told, is found to survive in some of these cheeses. So the voluntary recall of this, let's see, this is Face Rock Creamery. I don't know if I have a picture of this one, but there was another, here's the Pacific produce company. What do you think is going to happen to these companies? This one, Twin Sisters, they did their own recall of the cheese, and it's just a small, it's like a small family farm. So what do you think is going to happen to them now that they have done their voluntary recall? Because they said that it was contaminated with E. coli, which also causes severe abdominal cramps, diarrhea, and vomiting. Let me know if you ever had E. coli. It is rather common. My understanding, talking to Dr. Chari, who has appeared on my show several times, the E. coli can be just in our gut kind of on an ongoing basis, which is why we want to balance all of that gut flora. So it is no fun, I understand, if you have diarrhea and vomiting, abdominal cramps, upset stomach, and so forth. But let me just put that on par with these injectable substances that are still not recalled by the CDC. The CDC is warning you about soft cheese and raw milk, and the FDA is gleefully announcing these recalls, yet they're leaving the other products on the shelf that you and I know are much more harmful. This one really gave me a chuckle. Bird flu virus found to survive in some cheeses, the study warns. So apparently, bird flu, according to this one study, can survive in certain raw milk cheeses. See, what I think they're doing is they're going after the more natural foods, the organic and the raw milk and the unpasteurized. Remember, pasteurization from Louis Pasteur, who was the instigator in creating this whole hogwash of these viruses, including rabies. He was kind of the Fauci of his time. So a lot of people don't want to drink the pasteurized milk that has killed a lot of the whatever is good for you in milk. I don't have all of the details there, but apparently a team from Cornell University in New York looked at the bird flu virus and they wanted to understand its behavior. You know, I'm saying this with quotation marks. And apparently the scientists found that in many cheeses, the virus remained infectious even after, are you ready for it? 60 days of aging, the minimum period required by the FDA for the unpasteurized cheese. In some cases, it even lasted for 120 days. Now, this is bizarre that there would even be researchers looking into this, but apparently there was a study that looked at the persistence of the bird flu in raw milk cheese products. And apparently, they found that the virus survives in refrigerated raw milk for extended periods of time. Well, friends, let me know what you think about the bird flu being present in cheese. First of all, I don't think there's any evidence of a virus, how can I put it, being present in anything, because the medical medicine itself has not been, scientists themselves have not been able to actually isolate anything that even would be a virus. So I made this meme last year when we were also being flu-mongered and fear-mongered in the media. And I would just ask you, is it the flu? Or is it the bird flu? Or is it the cheese flu? I'm going to have to make an all new meme. Well, let's just check it out. With the flu, you get a fever, and with the bird flu, you get a fever. And with the flu, you get aches and chills, but the bird flu, you get aches and chills. And the regular flu, you get cough and fatigue and nausea. But with the bird flu, you get cough and fatigue and nausea. So clearly they're different. They have different names. Furthermore, with the flu, you get a stuffy nose and a sore throat, but with the bird flu, you get a stuffy nose and a sore throat. So I hope that I've cleared that up for you, friends. You know, YouTube sends me interesting videos in my suggested video lineup, and one came up by Dr. John Campbell. I don't watch him. I don't follow him. I just don't have time to really watch other YouTubers. I like the videos that I like to watch are for relaxation. And he said that he got COVID yet again. I thought that was so interesting because probably many of you heard of Dr. John Campbell. He's actually a nurse. He uses the word doctor because maybe he has a doctorate in nursing, but he made all the rounds during the Cooties Hogwash. And now and I don't even know how old this video was. As I say, it popped up in my recommended videos, but apparently he said he had a variation of the Omicron. So I ask you, is that someone that you would like to learn from? Someone who said he got COVID yet again? I wonder if he got one of the injections that is supposed to prevent you from getting that. Inquiring minds want to know. Let me know, friends. Do you think this is another cover-up? Why in the non-spinning world is cheese being pulled off the shelves and parsley being pulled off the shelves, while those products that are causing real harm are still left and being promoted? That's what troubles me. All right, everybody. Thanks so much for being on board. I'll be back with you tomorrow. We're going to dive into the autism Tylenol connection. Yes, that's how it's pronounced at the Healthy American. Big shout out to our moderators. Let's take a quick look at some of your comments here. And I want to thank everybody for being on board. Curious Georgia says it's cream cheese fever. Oh, the Valerie says the fever is real and it's called cheddar chills. That is hilarious. All right, Southern Laney told me that nurse Dr. John got the injections. Russ said, get your cheese vaccinated. Oh my gosh, you guys are too darn funny. M. Maurer said, yeah, again, what happened to the influenza shot? Kitty Cat says, raw cheese tastes so good. And Kava says, yes, the stuff they're spraying in our skies is good for us, though. Don't worry about that. You better worry about parsley and cheese. Pamela said they want all this recall food for their own underground bunkers. Country Mickey's, oh, you guys are so funny. She says, just leave the cilantro alone. Absolutely. I like cilantro in my guacamole, that's for sure. Lori says it's all really cheesy. All right, friends, I am going to use your comments in my Substack tomorrow. Oh my gosh, that is so darn funny. Oh, Mama Rossi says, great mix for my next charcuterie board. Cheese and germs. Oh my gosh. Sea whale, are we men or mice? Pass the cheese. All right. You are all so darn funny. Peggy, Oliver says you sound so much different at normal speed. I don't often catch you live. Well, you know what, Oliver? I am a tiny bit under the weather today. Hopefully I will be back on screen with you tomorrow. I really was worn down by doing all of the Freemasonry and the Russell Brand. If you didn't catch last week's whole theme, it really is, I need to take a break from all that. So we're going to talk about the cheese, the whole cheese and nothing but the cheese. And we're going to talk about the Tylenol, as I call it, that whole distraction. That is another red herring. And I also do want to bring you some action steps because people are still coming to me to get their exemption from the cheese shot. Yes, that's what we're going to have to call it now. So reality says, I've got the fever and the only cure is more cowbell. Being Nessing, it stinks to me. Brian says, recall the cheeseheads from the Green Bay Packers. Oh my gosh, I love you, my healthy Americans. You are so funny, smart, savvy, snarky, sophisticated. I'm going to sign off now. I'll be clipping all of those comments and I'll add them to the Substack. It's a free newsletter. It's over at peggyhall.substack.com. And that's something that you can read, refer to, and hopefully share as well. Big shout out to the moderators. Thanks so much for being on board. And I'll see everybody